Hello and welcome to another trip report. This time on the most popular high-speed route here in Spain, what is between Madrid and Barcelona, or the other way around of course. This is on AVE high-speed trains. There are different kinds of trains. There's also a low-budget high-speed train of the state-owned railway company RENFE. The French state-owned railway company is competing with RENFE with their OuiGo product. What is a kind of crazy actually, because they also do cooperate on this same route for international trains that will go to France. So don't really get that's why they have this product here. And soon Trenitalia will also launch a product over here. Tell you more about that in the video. What I will do in this video, I will show you this railway station. It's Madrid Atocha. It's one of the two terminal railway stations here in Madrid. I really like this railway station due to the botanical garden. If you ask me what's my favorite railway station, you probably get an other answer all the time. But this is at least one of them. I will show you the trains on this route and also some views from the train. I hope you like this video. If you do so, or if this is a helpful video to you, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, or even if you just want to say hello, leave a comment. And if you like to see more train related videos, subscribe to my channel. And if you don't want to miss anything, also hit the bell icon. For now, let's roll the intro.
Chances that if you arrive at this railway station, you most likely arrive here by train or metro. The Iberian Gate tracks, where also the Cercanias leave from, and some long distance trains, are located at the lower level. In Spain, the standard railway lines, or the conventional railway lines, do use an Iberian Gate tracks, and these tracks are wider than in the rest of Europe. The high-speed lines will use the standard gauge tracks. Spain has quite a big high-speed rail network, so therefore some trains can use both gauges. If you're traveling with an AVLO or a Talgo train, for example, they might use both the Iberian and the standard gauge tracks. Most of the times these trains will change the width of the wheels during the trip. The Cercanias, so the lower platforms, do host most railway passengers from here. These are really the commuter rail network, and there are no security checks for here. For long distance trains from here, I don't know exactly, but some long distance trains do depart from the lower level as well. So please, if you don't see your train standing in the departure screen, this railway station is split up in two sections, so go to the other section. You might find it there. Most train passengers at this railway station will use the Iberian Gauge tracks. These are the local commuter trains, so if you're arriving from the other railway station, Madrid Barcelona, the airport or other places in the city by train, you most likely end up here. The standard gauge tracks will have special luggage security control, and therefore you find separated departures and arrivals. This is a little bit like an airport, but it's not the hassle as you have at an airport. I already did one trip report where I arrived here, but back then I did not film this railway station because it was a business related trip and the train after that was quite tight. If you arrive here by trains that will use the standard gauge tracks, so I'm talking about the AVE trains, OuiGo, Iryo, some Avant trains and the AVLO trains, you end up here. These are separate departures and arrivals, and this is the place where you arrive. Directions are given very clear from here, so it's hard to miss where you need to go to. In terms of directions, my personal experience is that everything has been marked very clear. Of course, everything is in Spanish, but also in English. English is written in a smaller typeface below the Spanish text. Apart from that, icons make it understandable to everybody. If you get out at the arrivals for the high-speed trains, you get out close to the point where you find the entrance and the exit of the Iberian Gauge tracks. You arrive at the upper level, and over here you also find one check-in point again for the high-speed lines. Entrance to the metro is close to this point as well. Right next to the entrance of the metro there are special vending machines for the metro. And of course, throughout the railway station there are lots of vending machines for the Cercanias and also the mainline trains. Most vending machines are located around the Iberian Gate tracks platforms, so the Cercanias, Media Distancia and some long distance trains. For now, let's move on to the most impressive part of this railway station. But as you can see here on the left, there's another check-in for the high-speed trains. For the high-speed trains, there are 3 points where you have the luggage control. One is at the lower point, and that's over here. And then you find 2 at a higher level. One of them I already showed you a bit earlier on. If you move along the railway station, there are quite a lot of shops. It's not really impressive, but you find all shops you might need to buy some stuff for your journey. Some reading materials, foods, snacks, etc. Although long distance trains in Spain do have a dining car, the menu is not really impressive, I have to say, but I'll get back to this later in the video. Somehow departure screens for the high-speed trains are a bit more clear than departure screens for the non-high-speed trains. In Spain, I found out sometimes you really need to watch out if you're looking at a departure or an arrival screen. But these are all departure screens over here. The train number has been clearly written and also where you need to check in. In some situations, a little bit of basic Spanish might help you. I do speak Spanish, so that helps me a lot, I have to say. One of the most impressive parts of this railway station is the old railway station building. There are some more information points and a bigger ticket desk over here. And there are some nice restaurants over here. I've heard that before the pandemic there was even a nightclub at this. By far the most impressive part is this botanical garden here on the left. When I was here before, in 2018 and 2019, I could also walk through the botanical garden. Unfortunately, I couldn't enter this time, I think due to maintenance. At the side of the botanical garden there are some more shops. And if we move back to where you find most shops and restaurants, at the first upper level there is access to the high-speed trains tracks again at level number 1, and at level number 2 you will find taxis, a parking spot and a drop-off and pick-up zone for railway passengers by car. Well, this is not that special, so for now I think you have an idea of how this railway station looks like, and the botanical garden is what makes it one of my favorite railway stations. For now, I will put my luggage in the X-ray scanner and go to my train. Before this, my ticket was also basically checked, but this is not at all Spanish high-speed railway stations though. After the moment your luggage has been checked, there are some more shops. And I noticed my girlfriend shopping in the candy shop.
I see a lot of sweet stuff. Are you for sale?
After being rejected for my smooth way of trying to get my girlfriend's attention, I just went to see what you can find else here. There's a relay where you can buy souvenirs, some electronics like cables to charge your phone, books, magazines, and at the other end there are some places where you can buy food as well. Both to eat here but also for takeaway. And I do have to say the selection is quite good. Both for takeaway but also for dining in. Platform numbers will be announced relatively last minute, and as soon as this happens, the entire check-in process can start. It feels a little bit like you're at an airport the way they do this, but you don't have the hassle of an airport. This goes way more relaxed and way faster. The advantage of the tickets being checked before you go to the platform is that it's really hard to miss your train. This is only for the high-speed trains, by the way. In general, my experience is that there's also staff available at the platform, so it's even harder to mix things up. This on the right is my train for today. Most AVE trains that do run between Madrid and Barcelona are of this type, although you also find other train types. For example, the train on the left will continue to France and also travels via Barcelona to France. The final call of that train is Marseille. If you're interested about those train types, I do have a trip report coming up on those train types as well, so stay tuned on this channel. And if you don't want to miss anything, hit the subscribe and bell icon. These trains on the right are made by Siemens and are the RENFE Class 103. These trains are similar like the ICE Type 3 trains you can find in Germany, the Sapsan you can find in Russia, and some Chinese high-speed trains. Although the interior is different, of course. Both at the platform and at the side of the train there are digital screens that will host the train number, destination, stops along the way. At the side of the train the carriage number is also displayed, since tickets always do come including a seat reservation. Even if you're traveling with a rail pass like Interrail, you're obligated to reserve a seat. Personally, I found the RENFE website not the easiest website to book train tickets, so therefore I've booked my tickets via Trainline. One downside of trains in Spain is that there are different booking terms and it's not always very clear. If trains are not bookable, it will just look like there are no train connections. Because I was traveling around Easter, lots of trains were fully booked, so I couldn't take the risk of booking things with Interrail or a Spain pass. Spain has an impressive high-speed rail network. If you count this per capita, Spain has the highest density of high-speed rails in the world. This is 5 times more than in China. For now, let's do a tour of the train and I will start off with the first class. This is also being called Preferente or Turista Plus. At the total back of the train you find this, and over here, if you turn the seats, you can have a look with the driver. There's a small light you can turn on or off, and the first class comes in a 2x1 configuration. This is Preferente, and at that moment there is a meal included, and Turista Plus is the second class service plus first class seats. All seats do have a reading light and most seats are facing frontwards. This is typical something for trains in Spain, by the way, at least for long distance trains. Not all high-speed trains do have this though. At the moment there's a table between the seats, you find a power plug within the table, and something truly unique I only saw on these train types is this shoe washing machine. All seats do have access to an entertainment system, and at the other side of the seat you find a handle you can use to recline these seats. The leg space is really good, I have to say, but this also counts for the second class or Turista. These tables though, they are huge and I really like this. This is ideal for if you want to work on a laptop, for example. Power plugs are located in the seat in front of you. If you do have 2 seats next to each other, a small garbage can be found in between the seats in front of you. All seats do have a footrest. Reading lights can be found below the luggage racks, and right below the reading lights you find the seat numbers. Of course, you can store quite a lot of luggage in the overhead luggage racks, and between the compartments there are bigger luggage racks where you can also store a lot of luggage. At the end of the compartments, LED screens will host route information, carriage number, destination, train number and speed. At the ceiling there is a display and movies will be played over there throughout the journey. You can link this to your onboard entertainment system, what's located near every seat in all classes. Second class or Turista comes in a 2x2 configuration, and just like most Spanish high-speed trains, all seats do face frontward, except from the seats that do face each other and do have a table in between. Maps with security information will be displayed at most entrance doors, and one section of the second class or Turista is also more accessible for people traveling in a wheelchair. Of course, close to this point there's a bigger toilet that's also accessible for people with mobility problems. Thus, like you can expect pretty often, these toilets can also be turned into a nursery space for babies, because they are way bigger and therefore also easier for this purpose. This is how the regular toilets look like. They're way smaller but pretty fine, I have to say. At some spots you find seats that do face each other. In that case there's a bigger table in between and a small garbage can be found at the side. Most seats do come in an airline composition. Below the seats, both at the front and at the back, you'll find power plugs. Between the seats a small garbage can. These tables are a bit smaller than in the first class, but they're pretty fine. There's a food rest. Right above the footrest there's a magazine rack, and of course you'll find above the seats under the luggage racks the reading lights, right below that the seat numbers, and of course you have the overhead luggage rack. Free Wi-Fi is available, and all windows do have a sunscreen by the way. Although a trolley service will come by every now and then, there is a dining car in this train. The dining car is quite big, I have to say, but it's not really a place where you can have a nice sit. It is a nice place where you can go to if you want to stretch your legs. The menu is not that stunning, I have to say, but it's nice that there is a dining car on board of these trains. The prices are relatively okay. Before I show you some views from the train, the environmental impact if you're traveling by train is a lot lower than any way of other motorized transportation. And especially flying. Unfortunately, there are still a lot of planes traveling up and down between Madrid and Barcelona, while there are many trains, and there are actually 3 railway companies that run on this route, so there's also competition. In terms of travel time, speed, but in many cases also the price, the train is the ultimate winner on this route. So I really don't understand why people even take a plane on these routes. And especially not if you consider what's going on in the world with climate change and energy shortages. For the last part of the video I'll show you some views from the train. I do have to say I did not record this all in one single go. I recorded the views from the train, from this specific train, from Madrid to Zaragoza, and Zaragoza to Barcelona is the same route, but that was on an AVLO train that came from San Sebastian Donostia and was 2 days later. Therefore, the weather is a little bit different at a certain point. I did some more trip reports around here.
So that's it for this trip report. Even though I showed you the views from the train all the way to Barcelona, I got out for this train at Zaragoza, but at the moment of recording right now I will take another train from here to Barcelona. It will also go along the high-speed line. There will be another video where I'll be featuring both Zaragoza but also Barcelona. From Zaragoza I will take a local train to Canfranc. That's a whole different story, but it used to be a border station, and I think there's still a bus connection into France from there. I'll tell you more about that in that video. Spoiler alert, I didn't find a convenience store in the railway station. This is a huge railway station, but there's no convenience store. Might be a suggestion. Anyway, I hope you like this video. If you do so, give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more train related videos, subscribe to my channel. See you on my next video.
Before I really end this video, if you're interested in other trip reports, of course you can find them on this channel, and I will publish new videos at least every 2 weeks, but in general every week. But below in the description of this video you find a link to a map, and on this map you find all trip reports I did by train and ferry. The lines do indicate the routes and the train and ferry icons do indicate the railway station and ferry terminal reviews. Once again, thanks for watching and see you on my next video.